So the that like the that thing was supposed to take 15 minutes, and we didn't get anything done because of the conflict that arose through my interaction with the grown man, and it like totally threw off the class and just disturbed everyone. And what was interesting was that while our group was like going through all this conflict and all this like trial, the other group, we only had two that day because there were people were missing. People are kind of like dropping out of that class, so some people were missing. We only had enough people for two groups. But the other group was on the other side of the room, not involved, not concerned in any way whatsoever about what's going on with the obvious problem that's coming up in this other group, and they were like getting along and laughing, like they're so relieved that the problem is over there, that we can all get along because we're not them, which is really interesting. But so it eventually went away, and at the end of the class I intended to go to the teacher and just say, if you want to talk about this, I will stay here and talk about it, because she's cool like that. But she ended up coming to me, and I said, with my throat like this wide and full of phlegm, if you want me to stay, I'll stay here and we can talk. And we did, and it was really fascinating to talk with her and watch her completely question like what she has believed about the educational system, and she doesn't know what to do. But she sat there and talked with me about it, and I was very grateful that she did give me that space to discuss these points about what's happening and why people don't want to participate and don't want to question the system and how it works. A point that was relevant that I didn't bring up was that these points that I'm bringing up about the system, about what the system is, the way that these points are literally stopping the system from being able to function, kind of implies their complete validity. And with my father, with my mother, with my grandmother, and with my grandfather, I have brought these points up also. And I have received from all four of them the exact same reaction, with a slight difference in my mother that was more poignant. My father tells me to give up, that he gets angry and says, "You don't understand that what school is about. You're supposed to not question things. You're supposed to do as you're told. If you don't start to understand that, then bad things are going to happen to you." My grandfather said the same thing. The system is too big. And my grandfather really, really wants to be my friend. Be my friend. Like, he's totally alone in his life. He's really lonely. He and his wife, my grandmother, they don't get along. Their relationship has just become so fucking disgusting and abusive. So even, like, in spite of that desire to have this relationship with his grandson, he told me that it's, it's not gonna change. You can't do anything about it. Just get through it. Just get it over with. Like, wanting to validate that, just ignore it and keep your head down so that I don't have to see and deal with and remember what this system is like. Same with my grandmother. Now my mother was really interesting because she worked at the with this is that the city has a big section of the city is like just owned by the university. I'm going to the community college specifically to avoid the university, and the university is like this. It's like this subculture, and this like a whole section of the city is just like a training ground for college kids to like learn how to be functional units in the city. It's like really interesting. And for that, like it's got like this whole culture and the sports team, and if you go there, then you are a wildcat, like all this creepy cult-like stuff. So my mother was in that environment for 20 years, and she was a vice president of the organization that went out to rich people and made money for the university. And so apparently she's like, oh, yeah, she knows John Accoy, the president of that campus. So she's like enmeshed in with this system. And when I brought up these points to my mother, there was just no consideration at all. And she basically came to me, behind this very, very poised and politically correct personality, basically just said, no, you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about that. With like this intense, she wanted to call Robert and like a bee, like I hit the hive. She wanted to like go to Robert when I told her about him and call him and, why are you giving my son the numbers of these people, and why are you blah 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 blah.